When? Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to... I was having a conversation backstream and pushed the go live button too quickly. Welcome back to the Football Inc. I hope you are all happy and healthy, doing things that you love, as does Johnny. But guys, please do us a favour, straight out of the bat. Take your shoes off, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, squeeze that sub, and drop your comments. Come thick and fast. And make sure that if you are interested in the podcast version of this, if you're not someone that catches it live, then you might just enjoy it more on the podcast platforms, of which we're on too. We're on Spotify and we are on Apple. Links in the description. I'll bring the links up, and would love it if you can squeeze the follow button over there and leave a 5-star review. Just before I hand over to Johnny, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone. The numbers, once again, absolutely insane. I think we hit 10K or something on the stream yesterday. Brilliant numbers from you guys. Couldn't thank you all enough. Johnny, how are you, mate?
I'm all right. Sean, I took a leaf out of your book and I took off my shoes and my socks, and I'm sitting very comfortably waiting for the show to begin. I just forgot that I was actually in it. I thought I was just sitting down and going to watch. No, John, yes. You're not Sandy Shore. I wish I was on the Sandy Shore Astra. Yeah, that's a throwback. Yes, Sandy Shore. That was yeah. Oh, Sean, if you could, I'll have to get myself a flat cap. I'm going up. My son is getting married this weekend, so we might have a little gap and might have to do a little sort of individual report if I can't get out. But maybe when I get up to Scotland, I'll look for a tartan flat cap. Fly up on Thursday. I'll certainly be missing these shows until I get back, but we'll see if we can still put a little bits and pieces together. No doubt, Sean, I'll get on that plane and the bombers will drop.
Yeah, that's the way it always works. But it is what it is. You guys can hang around for a week, hopefully, in our absence or so. Good to see you all. Good to see you, Marshall, Brian. Good to
Darren.
see you, Tafster, Darren, etc. TTID, everyone. Noel, how you doing, guys? How you doing? Connor's in the house as well. Free imagery of Johnny's feet. That's today's self-enjoyment time sorted. Yeah. Well, whatever you're into, mate. Whatever you're into.
If you've got a foot fetish, please send us a super chat and I will send you more. No problem.
Johnny, I think your microphone's disconnected, mate. I think you're running through.
Can you hear now?
Oh, that's better now. Yeah, sorry. Very distant.
You know, I did. I opened the window because it was getting very humid here before the storm, and it was blowing through. Guys, listen. I see a few of you are in the chat telling us about shameless baiting on stories. Guys, listen up.
I haven't seen any accusations of such.
There's been a few. There's been a couple.
There's one person saying probably milking it now.
Yeah,
what we're milking. We're milking just some airtime.
Listen. What we're saying is what has been reported. Can you really believe Rodrygo? Spurs have bid 87 million for Rodrygo. Do we believe it? It's hard to believe. We heard the chairman today on the overlap. He wants to win it all, but this would break every rule in the Spurs book. But maybe there's a first time for us to finally do it. Let's be honest. But 87 million. No, I maybe don't. But it's been reported by 4 different sources, not just 1, 4, and therefore on this show we're here to give and discuss any story that comes up, good, bad, indifferent, ridiculous, or believable. Because let's be honest, the believable stories turn out to be nonsense. And some of the stories where we think are the impossibles turn out to be true. So we have to give credit. We have to give credence to every story that
that market of like waiting until the here we go. That's kind of saturated by the here we go.
Yeah.
We got to find our own little corner of space, and that usually works in the speculation department. What I would say, so I put a video out, Johnny, a couple of hours ago on Spurs Talk Show, and yeah, it was certainly a clickbait thumbnail, but it may be click-worthy content, because I think that within the content, I spent 2 seconds talking about Rodrygo, and then I said, look, it doesn't matter who the person is. Here is for me, the value proposition of why you do something like breaking the wage structure now. And I think it becomes quite simple when you think about in any other time, if Tottenham had signed just using Rodrygo as the scenario, but it could be anybody, right? It could be anybody else that comes in and wants $250 a week, and that's going to be a big deal. If you did that when you had Harry Kane, Sonny, and Romero in the team, the very next thing that happens is you get a knock on the door if you're chairman Daniel Levy saying, you're paying him that much, you're paying me that much. I deserve it. At the moment, at Tottenham, not only do we have hopefully skyrocketing revenues and also a 200 grand less on the wage bill per week because of Sonny's departure.
Even more, mate. Even
more, right? But because of that, so the ratios come down. On top of that, there is nobody at the club that can knock on Daniel Levy's door and say, if Rodrygo or whoever it is getting paid that, I should too, apart from the one guy that you're desperate to sign a new contract that currently isn't doing it, which is Romero. And so if you're going to break the wage structure, there's no better time to do it now for both the benefit on the team and off the field with regards to the consequences of bringing in a new club highest earner. You do it for Rodrygo, then Romero's agent says, if he's getting it, I want it. And then Daniel Levy says, that's fine. You can get it, but you have to sign a new 4-year deal. And if he still says no, then you know where you stand. And you sell him in the next summer, and you move on. But I think it's the perfect time to do it, is my point.
Yes, listen, Spurs have not filled in the wages of Lloris, of Dyer, of Kane, and now Son. There's a huge wage void. Spurs were only at 42% of their turnover of profits. So, let's be honest, right? Right now, profits are soared since, revenues are going up, and wages are going down. So it's the perfect opportunity. If you're saying, this is totally unbelievable, 100%. As a Spurs fan, we're linked with Rodrygo, we're linked with this one. It's totally understandable to sit there and laugh at it. But the reality is, as Sean and I have discussed off screen, on screen, there is now a massive void, huge revenues. Don't forget, he was probably on image right bonuses and shirt sale bonuses and all the rest of it. So there's definitely room. So we don't believe it's clickbait. Just the same as when we look at Newcastle being linked with this player and that player, and then they all fall apart. When they were linked to João Pedro, we gave that credibility. What happened? Fell apart. We linked it to Delap. What happened to that? Fell apart. We could go through all the signings that
we bring you the transfer news. That's all we do. That's all we do. But let's move on. Talking about falling apart at Newcastle. Another one, Johnny. Another one maybe falling apart as the story broke this morning. And I can already tell the Newcastle fans are going to come in just later on after the show just to tell that they won't be here today. Maybe a couple will. We know the couple that are always here. We love to see them, like Foxy et al. But the ones that come in afterwards, like the Nottingham Forest fans, who just come in to say, you don't understand our football club. You don't know nothing. Shut up. Keep our club's name out of your mouth. Well, listen, this is what we do here. And unfortunately, the story broke today, allegedly, according to reports, that Benjamin Seşko has decided to turn down Newcastle United. Johnny, another one bites the dust.
Yeah, as Freddie Mercury says, another one bites the dust, and another one goes, and another one goes, another one bites the dust. Hey, but I don't think they're singing that in the dressing room. I heard Alan Shearer going mad on some other small show by Goalhanger with Gary Lineker. And what he was saying was that there's no director of football. There's no executive. No one's doing the deals. There's no one to agree on the deals. What is going on at Newcastle? Mitchell left. Ashworth left that they got out of Brighton. There must be a reason why these top guys that you've paid money for are leaving the club. Mitchell left in May and they haven't filled the void. And, I feel sorry for Eddie Howe. I've got to be brutally honest. I've got nothing against Newcastle at all. Although, we're talking about them a lot. That's because they're newsworthy, like the other club that we're talking about. In fact, if anything, we probably talk more about Chelsea than any other club. But Newcastle, there is plan B for Newcastle. But it's not Plan B. It's now
Plan G now, isn't it? Plan H.
G, H, or H, yeah.
At that stage, Johnny, right? It's interesting because we not to get the mates about Tottenham, but it always inherently comes back a little bit when you're doing comparables. Daniel Levy gets criticised for not having a go, right? Just have a go. Then when the links come out for Rodrygo, everyone says you're delusional if you're talking about it, right? On the other hand, just do what Newcastle do. Have a go, try and fail. How many times? And as I said to you before, Johnny, and I think you agree, but maybe I'm not sure. Tell me if you do now. There's two consequences to reaching for the stars and not landing on anything. One is after like the 5th or 6th rejection, the 7th player probably goes, none of these lot wanted to go. Do I want to go there? Which is one consequence of overambition in your transfer strategy. The other is if you're the 10th guy that gets the offer, if you're the 10th or 11th striker that gets the phone call from his agent that says, hey, listen, Newcastle are interested, not only maybe that person goes, well, those 10 didn't want it, why would I? But also, Newcastle didn't really want me. They wanted the other 10 before me. I'm the last girl at the bar who hasn't got a date yet.
100%.
And I think sometimes you need to just have a plan A, plan B, and plan C. Recognize that you're not going to get all of your first choices unless you're Liverpool or whatever else. But at the same time, make sure that they're realistic enough before it gets out into the media so that you don't end up looking like you've got egg on your face a little bit.
Listen, look, the last player, he goes, well, you've been rejected by everyone else. If you want me to come, you're going to have to show me a little bit more cash. Because just like when, for example, a club gets a massive cash injection, suddenly the price goes up. Or when you know that a player wants to leave and the club wants to get rid of him, like Garnacho, for example, the buying club can haggle. And so the player as well. The player is in a position when he knows that they've tried and failed many, many times to get a player. Exactly, Dara, who's just mentioned the 7th player ups his wage demands. Absolutely. If you want me to come. Look, if they miss out on him, it's likely to be Visser. With Brentford having finally changed their stance, they obviously have someone in their eyesight. I think it's the boy from Metz that they're going to go for. The 19-year-old striker, is a Penda. What's his name?
Callum Mwendo?
No, at Metz. I can't remember his name now. It will come to me. But my point is that Newcastle, if they do lose Isak and
Is this a gay, that one?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. If they do lose out on this, it's still not going to appease and even by getting Visser because they wanted to pair Alexander Isak with Ekitike. Now they're in a situation where Wilson's gone. Isak is going to go. At some point, he's going to go 100%. And then they're scurrying around trying to, get their 3rd or 4th choices. Listen, look, I hope Newcastle get it over the line. They couldn't even get the 2 goalkeepers they were going for. Right. And now they've ended up with Ramsdale on loan.
I don't think that they can possibly afford, as it stands right now, unless they significantly change their approach and just sort of recognise where they sit in the pecking order. And like Daniel Levy said that on the interview with Gary Neville. He said, look, we know that there's clubs that are bigger and they're bigger than others and all that stuff. I feel like Newcastle haven't really woken up to that fact yet. It's the same with like Nottingham Forest fans. They seem to think that they're still living in the 70s, But I think that Newcastle probably need to do everything they can to keep hold of Isak because even if they were to get 140 million quid for him at this stage, unless they were to go and spread that money around 3 or 4 50 million pound players, I don't think they can attract these 80 million pound players that they're wanting to attract. They're just not there yet. They might be there in a couple of years, but they're not there yet. One Carabao Cup and some ambitious owners that aren't yet willing to break FFP to make their moves. The stadium's lovely. It's a very raucous environment, but
not for an away
stadium will help in a couple of years, all that stuff. But they have to go through the kind of the process, don't they? The journey of getting themselves to the top order, and they think they can just. I think they're kind of running before they can walk a little bit, and no disrespect to them, but I just think that they need to come down a level. Like a Visser is the right level for them, I think.
Do you think the Saudis, on reflection, maybe made a mistake going because it was cheap, 300 million, with a ready-made stadium, lots of property development opportunities there with the Rubin brothers. You know, everyone talks about the Saudis, but if you look down the list, the
Rubin
brothers are some of the biggest property developers around. You know, the idea, pumping the money into the club, win the hearts and minds of local councillors, do massive property deals funded by the Saudis, bring in extra revenue. That extra revenue thus then helps the football club and so on and so forth. Do you think, though, that the Saudis, looking at someone like Spurs, for example, with all of the outside events and all the non-football match income, think, you know what, we should have gone there? I mean, when you look at the Spurs model now, anyone coming in now, you know, the ability to spend because of the revenue it's generating, even from the point it is now, is absolutely huge. And we've got a weak women's football team. We don't have an NFL. There's massive opportunities for growth there.
Boxing, yada yada.
And then the hotel
coming, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And
the hotel coming by 2028. That funding will 100% be coming in for that hotel. You've only got 3 years, less than 3 years to build it. So 100% it will be going ahead. But look, I wish Newcastle...
Depends on the ambitions of, like, if new owners come in. Don't forget, we've got that Catalina Kim lady who apparently has joined the board as the development officer or whatever. And she's obviously in bed with, not in bed literally, but in bed with a few property developers. She's into like real estate and all that stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I sit there and you kind of go, well, like if you're someone that wants to come in and get hold of a club like Newcastle, and then you've got all of that amazing opportunity that Daniel Levy and ENIC grabbed hold of over the last 15 years, then Newcastle's the play, right? Because you've got all of that, all for you. If you want to do it, it's all for you, right? And the Rubin brothers, etc. At Tottenham, there's not a lot of low-hanging fruit left. There's a few bits, but generally speaking, it's kind of putting the sugar on top. I hear you about the NFL stuff and about more gentrification, but generally speaking, it's sort of the football club is sort of 80% of the way there. And so it depends for me whether, like, what sort of investor or what is the motivations of the investor? Do they just want to come in, pump money in, and then take a team that's a sleeping giant to the next level and compete with City and all Chelsea and Arsenal and all that stuff? Or do they want to get in at the ground on a massive money-making opportunity from the property? And so I don't know the motivations of Saudi, mate, but like, isn't it?
I mean, right at the beginning, as soon as the Saudi deal was done, I was more focused on the Rubin brothers than I was on the Saudis, because I could work out what the play was through that. You know, for me, I think there is plenty of fruit left on the tree at Tottenham Hotspur. I really do believe there is. And, you know, when you look at someone like the Ben Eubank fight and the other fight that they have there, you know, I speak to fans from all sorts of clubs that have gone to that event and said it was breathtaking. You know, the atmosphere was incredible. I haven't been to a concert there yet, but this is probably why now it's getting such global recognition, that now is the time to get that naming rights. And all the people that were up in arms that we didn't do it earlier will probably realise once that deal's announced that it was the right strategy, because the brand has grown. Listen, I hope Newcastle get there. You know, they don't, you know, despite being Saudi money, there's no animosity, I feel, to the Newcastle fan base.
I'm talking
about where there is to Arsenal and there is to Manchester City, and recently Nottingham Forest with their behaviour towards Crystal Palace and Marinakis. So, you know, listen, anyway.
Let me ask this, Johnny. I've got Lee Enigma is in the house. Good to see you, Lee. There's a couple of things I want to just quickly so Johnny, first of all, Lee's asking Johnny to put this J Love guy right, but just bear with me. I'm going to come back to J Love because J Love, welcome J Love. I don't know you, mate, but he's saying I'm annoying everybody. Before you, hang on, Johnny, but the Eze deal will be announced this week. It's a case of 1 in, 1 out. Eze and Sonny share the same agents. Yep, Spurs concluded this 2 months ago. So this is J Love's thing. But before I hand it over to you, just quickly, Lee's also come in and said, no, but it's not this one. Where is it? Lee's also come in and said, Johnny, you got to look everybody in the eye. You got to look. He wants to see you in the eye right now. Where is it? He's saying he needs an update. Well, I can't find it. Has it disappeared?
Yeah, I saw it.
He said, look the camera in the eye, Johnny, and tell Lee if Eze is coming to Tottenham. Put J Love right.
Without stepping over the mark, I can categorically tell you that
I'm towards the camera.
There was absolutely no deal secured with Spurs 2 months ago for Eze. Absolutely none. And
is the Arsenal deal done though, mate?
No,
it's not done either.
It's not done either. But listen, look, at the end of the day, right, as I've said previously, until it's done, it's done. I think the chances have increased somewhat with the fact that Maddison going down injured. But, as I've said before, it's more than just paying the money. It's paying the money, Parish accepting, Spurs paying the money, the player wanting to go, and the manager wanting him, depending on how much money he has to spend and where he wants to allot that money. I can assure you that Gary, mate.
What's Gary saying?
Gary, mate, I was on my phone.
Gary knows a thing or two about a thing or two, doesn't he?
Well, let me tell you something, right? I'm not going to say it hasn't been discussed because it has, but I'm just saying that I spoke to my mate and there's nothing happening, all right, at this moment. But 100%, that Maddison business yesterday. Definitely.
Yeah, it changes everything. It has to change everything. It has to change everything. I don't want to hear any more about Scalvini for now. As much as I love the guy, don't want to hear anything about Anthony Robinson, Johnny. As much as I'd love to have him.
Admired. Look. Eze is admired at the club, right? He's admired at the club, and but sometimes you have priorities that are more important. That you like the player, but you've got X amount of money and you think, well, you know what, I can maybe get away with that, but I really need that. So therefore, as much as I want that player, I really have to do that. And that's been, I think...
Yesterday changed everything in that regard. I think that I put the video out saying Tottenham are probably going, well, yeah, we need a left-sided centre-back, a left footer, a left-back, could do with an 8. Yeah, we need another forward. You can make the argument you need a winger. You can make the argument you need a 10. You can make the argument you need a... No. All that shit's got to stop. For me, if we've got £150 million left, which I think you could make the argument we do if we apparently have enough money to drop 70 on Gahey in January, which didn't happen, 70 apparently on Zabani, which didn't happen, 60 on Gibbs-White, which didn't happen. Whatever that budget is, you got to look to the top end of the pitch. Now, you're only going to get 2 of the 3. I don't think you can make room for all 3. But if you're going to get 2... As much as I think that Rodrygo, the story is probably a load of waffle, I'd even say, Johnny, I don't think an out-and-out left winger is the priority. I think a 9 is the priority, and I think a 10 who hopefully can hybrid out to the left is the priority. And Xavi Simons and Eze are the 2 obvious options. Like, they're not done where, like, I don't know about Eze, but Simons' story suggests like Chelsea are offering Leipzig, your club, offering them players that they don't want. One of those 2 will be just fine.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, Spurs will sign a 10, and I think we'll sign a left winger. And we will probably have to sacrifice maybe that left back or left winger that we left back or left centre back that we might have been going for. But look, I've said it over and over again. If Daniel, look, it's up to Thomas Frank and the committee as to whether or not he wants this player above all others. And if he does above all others, then there's more of a chance of it happening. But we all know that this is the one player, right, that unites a fan base. Just the same as Newcastle fans if they sign Seşko, or Man United fans if they sign Seşko, Liverpool fans if they sign Alexander Isak. There's always a player that is universally appreciated by the entire fan base.
Yeah,
at Spurs, it's very rarely happened. He's meh. That's often what happens at clubs. But well, listen, we have to wait and see.
Look, I'm sure Tottenham will come back into the conversation in a little while. It always does. It makes about 10 or 12 appearances throughout the show. But guys, just quickly, there's 800 people here, and that's without any redirects. So we absolutely love you for stopping by. We've got so much more content to drop today. And we've got, as I said before, guys, we've got so many things to bring, so many more little segments and game shows and all sorts of stuff coming. This channel is going to be very, very entertaining over the next 12 months. So please do smash the like. Please do smash the subscribe. And once again, I will put the link up. But if you can, please get into the description and find the links for Spotify or for Apple Pods or for both, and leave a 5-star review. Johnny, it's time to go on our travels, mate. Do you mind if we go somewhere first? Is that all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
We're off to Saudi Arabia for the next part of the show.
Oh dear. Well, do you want to do
Darwin Núñez?
Let's start with Darwin. So it looked like, for all sense and purposes, that Al Hilal had coaxed Darwin Núñez with all the gold that he could eat. But out of nowhere have come AC Milan. It looked like it was green light, all talks, but now our talks are on with Liverpool and Darwin Núñez. Now, I can't believe that AC Milan, who were Arden Dashari, they couldn't even pay his wage, let alone his transfer fee, let alone the wage. I'm not sure how they're going to entice it. Listen, it's up to Darwin Núñez now. Does he favour more his football career and therefore sacrificing the money, or does he want to have a game-changing, life sum in Saudi for a couple of years? How old is he now? 25, 26, Darwin Núñez?
Darwin Núñez is...
I think he's 25 or 26. I can't remember.
26 years old.
26.
Just turned 26.
Just 26. So he could do 2 years out there, set him and his family up for the rest of their lives, and then come back in at 28 into the league. I don't know. I think if you're, I just don't believe that Milan have the money. I mean,
they couldn't get Arden Jashari done either, could they? So no. They have spent on. They've spent on a fair few players. They've got Luka Modric in. I'm sure Luka Modric's on a healthy salary. I know he's on a free transfer, but I'm sure he's on a healthy salary. Probably got a decent signing bonus for the 1 year. They obviously got Samuel Ritchie as well. Samuel Ricky. I never know whether it's a Ricky or Ritchie. Cracking player. Samuel Ritchie, ex Torino, and a player that I really wanted. CAA base as well. A player that I would have had probably not ahead of Polinia, but once he went, and then Tottenham were looking at this. I said we go back to Tottenham. He went to AC Milan, and I think that he's going to be a wonderful player. And then they can't afford Arden Jashari. They wanted Granit Xhaka. They couldn't get him done. You know, I'd be interested, mate, if they really want someone like Darwin Núñez, or if they want other players. I tell you what, there's a player at AC Milan by the name of a certain Marcus Thuram, who, he's at Inter, isn't he? Not AC. Sorry, my bad. Is it the other Thuram that's at AC Milan? I forget. But AC Milan might have to sell a couple of players, mate, in order to make room for Darwin Núñez. What do you think?
I can't see it happening. I really can't see it. Yeah, I'll tell you one player I thought would definitely bound for Saudi was the alleged interferer at the Thomas the Hitman Party. I thought he was destined to fly out ASAP out to Saudi Arabia. But he's been linked to a 2-year contract at Villarreal. I can't see. I just can't. Does he?
AC Milan have just signed. I forgot they've signed Purvis Stupinan as well from Brighton, haven't they?
Yeah, I just don't see how they've got the. I just don't see how they've got the money.
Are they going to sell Tomori? They've been trying to sell Tomori for the last couple of years, but he doesn't seem to want to go. He's a bit of a cock block. Rafael Leao's another player. He's probably their kind of prize crown jewel, isn't he? And he might end up being one of the make weights. In order to get there, sometimes you are where you are. You have to sell your best to be able to bring in 2 or 3 others that can, And it hasn't hurt PSG. It hasn't hurt a lot of big teams that sell their best player to make room for a new sort of situation, right? PSG only kicked on when they got rid of Mbappe.
Mbappe and Neymar and Messi.
Neymar, exactly, 100%.
I mean, could you imagine that dressing room? Huh? There's no room just for the three of them in the giant motor. But I mean, I am shocked that Milo went to Al Hilal. Was Al Hilal? Was it Al Hilal? Yeah.
Who? Al Hilal?
Yeah. I mean, that came out of the blue today. We were going to talk about Milo today. Linked with Spurs, Matty Hayes, if you're watching, and also links to, and also links to Atletico Madrid, and then boom, out the door came this player. Sean, there's some super chats there. Do you want to do those ones?
Was there? Oh, my bad. Sorry, guys, I didn't see them. Looking at the Twitter page. Let's go to Peru. We're off to Peru, to darkest Peru, as Johnny always says.
Yeah.
Darkest Peru. The Rodrygo story screams of bluff to me.
El Paz. Yeah, listen, El Paz. Listen, screams of a bluff. I mean, it'd be a great bluff if, while we're all looking at Rodrygo, the Rodrygo story, we ended up with Xavi Simons and Eze. Yeah, that'd be a great bluff. But it wouldn't be a great bluff if we went for Rodrygo and we signed, I don't know, Jack Grealish on loan. I don't know. Look, Jack Grealish. I'm not going to go back to Spurs because I'm not doing that. We'll go on to the other clubs. But we have to wait and see. He wants out. He's in a dressing room with enough egos as it is now, with Mbappe and Vinicius Junior and Jude Bellingham, with strutting his stuff now. I think he needs to spread his wings and state his claim at another club and get the respect that he feels he deserves. And I understand that.
Yeah, he's a quality player. I'd be like, I've seen the Liverpool, the noise out on the aggregators is that apparently Liverpool have been so blown away by Ekitike's training, and they've seen him and he leans left, which is what we've always been saying. And I think of him as a future left winger. He's a 9 that hangs to the left. I see him in the Liverpool system playing off the left if they can get Isak. If not, maybe he can be their front guy. But if they do put Ekitike on the left, I don't know if they're going to go and get a Rodrygo. If they do, we'll see. But either way, we shall move on. Yeah, I certainly think Tottenham are bottom of the pecking order of the 3 or 4 clubs that are in the Premier League that are after Roddy. Cat Funt, good to see you, mate. I just responded to your email, buddy. Thank you for the email. Very, very kind and generous. And I really appreciate, mate, those pictures you've taken are sensational. Big up, fellas. He says, welcome, Polinia.
What pictures are those, Sean?
He checked out on Sean Butler TV a couple of months ago. I did a conspiracy theory show and was talking about the moon and the Saturn moon matrix. I won't bore everyone with this particular, but we're talking about how the moon's probably
we're going to a whole new dimension now.
A whole new dimension, right? We were talking about, like, you've seen there's this thing called the moon wave. Someone who's got one of these Nikon cameras that zooms in, like, ridiculously, like the furthest zoom on a camera that you can buy. And someone recorded the moon sat there, and it had this shock wave that went through it, and it made everyone think that the moon is, or that we're all in some simulation. Anyway, long story short, Cat Funt has got that particular camera. He took pictures of the moon as well. So yeah, as I say, silver. I'm going to get myself a tinfoil hat. You're going to get yourself a flat cap. I'm going to get myself a tinfoil hat, mate. 100%. Good to see you, mate. Thank you very much, and certainly welcome to Polinia. Welcome to the membership, Dermatron. Dermo, thank you so much, mate. Appreciate you, buddy. Very, very cool of you, my man. Looking forward to getting, I already know you very well, but looking forward to getting you on when we do members content and things. Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate the support. You're a legend. You really are. And I hope your health, by the way, is getting better, mate. Last I heard, you were in hospital with some bad stuff. So I hope it's all on the mend, mate. And we've got the Blake L Super Sticker trainer started. Choo-choo! Let's get that going. If you wanted to join Blake on the train, all you got to do is stick in a 99 pence. In fact, if there's 815 people here, if everybody put in a 99 cent or 99 pence super sticker, I would be halfway to getting my new helmet in the background, making everybody's stream a little bit more enjoyable. Thank you very much, Blake. You're an absolute legend. Johnny, where are we going next, my man?
Well, let's go to my club, Leipzig. It's all happening at Leipzig. Let's be honest. You know, they're looking like they're selling Seşko. They look like they're selling Xavi Simons. I saw a comment on there actually just below that says Seşko reminds him of Peter Crouch. I totally get that. I've said the same myself. Wouldn't be a bad career though, would it? Let's be honest. But the Xavi Simons deal looks like it's going to happen. The Seşko deal looks like it's going to happen. Openda, who has been linked to Aston Villa, I cannot see them doing that. But Leipzig have said to Chelsea, if you do buy Xavi Simons, eBay FC have said that how about Tyreek George? And they said, you know what? We quite like him. But they don't want it as part of the deal. It has to be a separate deal. Because if they sell Tyreek George, they'll work it around some way or other so that they can get a multiple on the whole homegrown. Meant to be a good player, Tyreek George. Is that really?
I don't know about, is it Chelsea going to Leipzig?
Yeah,
Chelsea. Has he played any football for them?
Not that I know. That I know. But is that really? I mean, listen, RB Leipzig have done a very good job of
nurturing talent,
right? And maybe this is another one. But they must have something in the pipeline to let those two go. Do you not think? To let, what are you letting go there? 140 million pounds worth of talent?
Well, you say that, mate, but let's look at Leverkusen. Leverkusen have lost so much of their incredible title-winning team, and they haven't really replaced it yet. So, like Chelsea front run everything. Chelsea brought all their players in, and I saw a Chelsea fan show. I forget the name. It was actually a really good channel, a really good show. It was a small channel as well. I wish I could think of it. I'd plug it, but. And he was saying it's now time for the outgoings. Now time to start shifting these players on. And he was talking about the guy that's gone to Burnley. Who I forget. We'll get it up in a second. Pause. And he was talking about like one after another. And maybe Leipzig are going to get a couple of players. It's all very well. Like Chelsea do it the right way. Bring the players in and then get the players out after the fact. Leverkusen selling half their team. Bournemouth selling half their team. Most of their defence. Leipzig sort of doing their same. At some point, mate, these German clubs need to find the next iteration. One thing that your team have got going for them is their relationship with Salzburg, because Salzburg are very, very good at bringing up some good players. And once they get past that stage where they're too good for the Austrian league, they generally go to Leipzig, don't they?
Tell me something. What happened to Clippity Klopp? Huh? What's he doing? I mean, I've spun the wheel and I've been dealt RB Leipzig. I thought, hallelujah, what a result. You got Marinakis' favourite team, Hamburg, and I've got left with them. I'm like celebrating, and then what do I get? They're selling half the bloody team, right? So I'm not overly impressed with Tyreek George, but I'm hoping that there's something in the pipeline.
You'll take one for the team, though, won't you, mate? You'll take one for the team by saying, screw Chelsea, screw the pooch, and come send him to Tottenham, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's it. Listen, go back to, let's move on to, we'll come back to eBay FC in a minute. What's going on with Man United at the moment? I'm trying to, Saul Amarin said, I want to stay for 20 years. And we said, let's start with 20 months first, and then we can move on to 20 years, Ruben. Because the graveyard of managers since the great Sir Alex has been deep. I mean, he's now saying that he's a lovely kid, Garnacho, great talent, but he needs to go. Is he? Has Radcliffe had a word with him and say, "Look, mate, you got to stop slagging off our players"?
Yeah,
off.
It's bonkers to me. Listen, Manchester United will always be Manchester United. They're always going to be okay. They're always going to be able to get players on their brand value, regardless how far they fall. Unless they do they're never going to get relegated. So they'll always be able to attract. They've got the biggest brand, one of the biggest revenues in world football. They'll always be okay. But for me, I feel like it's lunatics running the asylum a little bit with some of the PR that's coming out of that club over the last 3 months, Johnny. It's been madness, and Amarim's to blame for a lot of it. Like, siphoning these 4 players. What do they call them? The bomb squad or whatever it is. The bomb squad is up. Call it five players that are being like siphoned off, saying no, train by yourself. You're not even welcome back. go and find a new club and go on.
I blame Ratcliffe. I'll be honest with you. I really rate Ruben Amorim. I do. I would have taken him when Conte left, but I think Jim Ratcliffe has come into this like a bull in a freaking china shop, sacked all the staff, cut the wages of the security people, the people who do, crowd control, people who've been there 30 years. He's just outed them, closed the club canteen for the staff. I mean, unnecessary shit when you're dealing with paying 300 grand a week wages. Target the things are the heart and soul of the club. Some of these people are the heart and soul of Man United, and they need to be kept. I just think that I think he's the guy. He's the guy that's done a lot. Ruben Amorim.
Super quick. Foxy's in the house. I fucking love Foxy. I hope he's not some 13-year-old kid who just happens to play Football Manager. But this guy knows everything that's going on around world football.
Love Foxy.
He's absolutely. I love you, mate. You're absolutely brilliant. Signing of the day: Besiktas 19-year-old prospect Semir.
I had a semi.
I'm going to semi-attempt to say his last name here.
Go on then. Go on. Kilkos joins.
Killick Soyjans.
Killis Joyson.
He's joined Cagliari on loan. Okay, signing of the day.
No, he's got a better one. He's got a better one. Apparently, Tuta. I don't know what he's Tuta, but Tuta has gone to Qatar, a club in Qatar.
Who's done this? Who's done this? Foxy's got a second one, has he?
Yeah, no, but go back a bit further. He's got another one there. From Qatar.
Oh, gee whiz. Well, I can't find
well-known player.
Here we go. No, George played a lot. That's not it.
No, that's not the one.
Am I too far back?
Maybe you've gone too far back.
Here we go. No, that's the same. No, I haven't. It's the same one. I don't know what I'm doing. Whatever.
Yes, he's got one that's gone to Qatar. Anyway, listen, Ruben Amorim has said, we will now have new leadership group. This is going to be very important. No shit, Sherlock. It's going to be with Bruno, Lisandro, Harry Maguire.
Wait, sorry. Sorry, I missed the first half of that. What were you saying? What's the story?
Okay. Ruben Amorim said, we will now have a new leadership group.
Oh.
This is going to be very important. No shit. It's going to be with Bruno Fernandes, Lisandro Martinez, Harry Maguire, Diego Dalot, Tom Heaton, and Nusam Mazraoui. Right? Mazraoui. Is there anyone he's left out? I mean, but how many players is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players.
Did you say Heaton was in it?
Yeah, Tom Heaton.
Who's never? Has he ever actually played in goal for United?
Well, he hasn't finished. Ruben has said Alexandre Garnacho is a very talented boy, but sometimes things don't work out. You cannot explain specifically what it is, but it is clear he wants different things with a different leadership, and it isn't ours. And then he goes on to say those wonderful words, I want to stay at Manchester United for 20 years. I truly believe in that. Oh, you better speak to Jim Ratcliffe and whether he is. He goes, it's my goal. I know the last season I used up all my credit, and now we will move forward. Yeah. But listen, Man United are looking to trigger the release clause of the goalkeeper that Wolves were looking at, John Victor, the Botafogo keeper. Really, really good keeper, an absolute monster in the goal. So I think that's got possibilities. The price is right, don't you think? Sure.
Yeah.
You know the monster.
I'm still shocked by the fact that leadership group includes a player that hasn't actually played a single minute of football for Manchester United.
Listen, he might be good at telling jokes, Sean. Well, we don't know. I mean, if you believe the Rasmus Højlund story just changes every other day, right? I'm not leaving. We've got the Wolf of Wall Street 1 minute, and then he's definitely going. And then you hear that Ruben Amorim really likes him. I don't know what the hell's going on with those two, but it's backwards and forwards. But Man United exploring, including Rasmus Højlund in a deal to try and get Seşko. But
Rasmus Højlund to Leipzig.
Yeah, but it seems that Rasmus Højlund is not so keen on that idea.
Just when you thought your squad was getting proper, that player won't leave. They call that cock blocker.
Yeah. Rasmus Højlund is a full-time cock blocker at the moment.
Cock blocker.
I mean, I'll leave. I'm not leaving.
By the way, Johnny, just quickly, I know we're a small channel, mate. I know we're a small channel. We just got over 4,000 subs. There's 920 people in the house. Love to see it, guys. Please smash like. Johnny, I've seen so many channels and people on Twitter talking about cock blocks.
Yeah.
That's starting right here.
Honestly, look, guys, I don't know how it's happened, but this channel's just gone mental. To have over 4,000 subs in literally 2 months and having 9,000 or 10,000 of you guys coming in and watching, it's incredible. And thanks. We enjoy doing the show.
Yeah,
and
so much fun.
Judging by the comments we do here, it's woke free. Sometimes a little bit near the mark, but we don't intend to upset anybody. But obviously, we do sometimes. But a
couple of super chats, if you don't mind, mate. Just quickly, we catch up with the supers. Daniel Houston from deepest, darkest Peru. Big up to you, my man. He's put in a super sticker. We're picking him up again. I think I did Cat Funt super sticker. Oh, I didn't do Cat Funt. No, Cat Funt's come in with the second one. He came in with the first, the chat, and now he's coming in with a sticker. We're picking you up, Cat. Let us know where you're from, my man, and we'll pick you up. Again, thank you for the email, mate. Very cool. Jack Spurs has also put in a super sticker. He's got his Tommy Frank on the. He's having a Tommy Frank on the notification on his icon there. Appreciate you very much.
I wondered what you would say. God, I thought you were saying he was having a Tommy Frank on his icon.
He's having a Tommy Frank all over his icon. Let's be honest. There it is. You can see it on the screen.
We've gone from goat porn to.
Listen, I don't know if I'm allowed to bring this one up, but Blaine has just said, but big up to you, Blaine. Good to see you, mate. Sean, I sent you a WhatsApp. It's not a wind up. I think my mate is about to hire Joe Lewis's son. His name is Tight Cunt. Oh, God. Say it out loud. And I took a look. Blaine, I hope I don't mind. Just quickly, I'll show this out there so anyone can see it. That is a resume that Blaine works in sales. That's a resume for a guy whose name is literally Tight C-U-N-D-T. That belongs on a meme. For sure.
I don't think that guy can go out for a drink at night, can he? Hey, you're not buying around.
His wallet with him. Let's be honest.
You're not buying around again, hey?
Yeah. It's your round, Tight. Yeah. Tight by name, tight by nature.
Should we move on to eBay FC? Have you finished those ones, or is there more?
No, we've done the super chats. Thank you very much, guys. Let's go to Chelsea, shall we?
Let's go to Chelsea. eBay FC. Chelsea still want to sign both Xavi Simons and Garnacho, 22 and 21. I mean, they are. It's almost like a creche at Chelsea with the amount of youngsters. But I've got to say, I think Maresca has done a fantastic job. I was questioning him. But when you think about all the players that are in there and the age of some of these players, I think he's done a brilliant job to do what he's doing. But he's got some unbelievable talent there. We mentioned Tarek George. There's also interest from Borussia Mönchengladbach. But I would have thought if he goes anywhere, it would be Leipzig to do the deal. Gerald Hatto's done. 7-year contract, Sean.
That's insane, mate.
7 years. Sold into slavery.
What? Why? What's the benefit of doing, if you can only amortize over 6? There was this guy on this Sky Sports thing that was saying about Nicholas Jackson a couple of weeks ago. He was saying, but the power's all in Todd Bowley's hands because Nicholas Jackson was signed on an 8-year contract. And I'm like, explain that. Make that logic work for me. If you've got a player that you don't want anymore, like Nicholas Jackson, and the guy's still got 6-7 years left on his contract, that's not in your interests. That's in, I understand that you've got 6 years before you have to worry about the guy leaving for free, but you might have 6 years left with a guy who doesn't want to go, who's a cop block. That's the problem. That's a major problem. And I don't know why you would sign 7 years for Jarell Hatter.
Well,
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Listen, look, he's a player that, Sean and I have spoken about long before Chelsea declared their interest and threw their hat into the ring. But Gerald Hatter said, I'm very excited. I'm so happy to be here. I thought a lot about my future and wanted to take the next step in my career. Chelsea is the best place for me to do that. So I'm very happy. Let's see if he says that in 18 months' time. I think I will be a good fit for the way Chelsea are playing, if you can play. So I was sure about taking my next step to Chelsea for sure. It was a big decision. I played 7 years at Ajax, and for me, it was a home. The people, the players, the coaches, the culture. So it was not easy to leave. But my feelings was that this is the moment I needed to make the step to the biggest club in the biggest competitions. And for me, this was the right decision at the right time. Chelsea, obviously.
They've also got that guy,
Chukwuemeka. I said to him when he left Aston Villa, he's making a huge mistake. Listen, Dewsbury Hall. That's a here we go to Everton. I think Everton are quietly going about their business in a very methodical way.
I want to get up their transfers so we can see them, because I think they're linked with some really good players as well. Let's have a look. Is it on the screen? Not on the screen yet. Here we go. Bring it up. Everton have thus far signed Tiano Barry, who I think is going to be a baller. Yeah. Really interested in seeing him. Carlos Alcaraz from Flamengo. I don't know too much about him, but I did run him through the Y-Scout when it happened, and I was like fairly impressed. Not like blown away, but fairly impressed. Adam Asnou, we spoke about him before from Bayern Munich. Young guy, hasn't got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Mark Travers from Bournemouth, who's going to come in and play second fiddle to Loudmouth. What's his name? Goalkeeper. What's the goalkeeper at Everton called?
Pickford.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. I couldn't think of his name.
So we've got brain block. We have cock block, but we have brain block. Sometimes
there's so many names knocking around
for us. Yeah.
And then the only players that they've sold they haven't sold anyone yet, really.
Well, I think they're going to sign Douglas Luiz. I'd be amazed if they don't get Douglas Luiz. And there are other signings that they missed out on. They tried to sign Kyle Walker.
If they bring in, they got links to that. The guy Fofana, Malik Fofana, who might be going that direction, and they're looking at one or two other sort of interesting wingers. Jack Grealish is probably one of the favourites to go. Everton, one of the favourites to get him on a loan. Everton are just quietly putting together quite an attractive little outfit this summer. They, like you say, quietly going about some decent business, mate.
Well, they're hard to beat. Listen, what the job he did coming in for Sean Dyche was nothing short of remarkable. Turn them around, and if they were hard to beat before, they're going to be extremely hard to beat now with the new group in. Someone's just put in the group that he worked with someone called Mr. Wankworth. Wankworthy. I'm not sure.
Wankworthy employee.
Yeah, employee of the month. So if you've got any other genuine, we might need to see evidence before you tell us that they're genuine names. But listen, I think a lot of people have said, well, Chelsea at the moment deciding all these players. The problem is, I wonder whether the Club World Cup will interfere with their start, and they won't have a brilliant start, and they'll start gathering pace. Are they going to sell? Can they really buy Morgan Rogers and Garnacho? And
I don't understand, mate. They just got a £65 million slap on the wrist, and that can grow. Well, they got a £25 million. They don't give a flying monkeys about any kind of FFP, bro. It is insane. To me, their FFP and PSR is insane.
It's all about the PSR. It's all about the FFP. It's all about the loopholes. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
All about the money.
Well, you saw Daniel sitting there ask the question today. If those of you who haven't seen it, Gary Neville's interview with Daniel Levy on Overlap, when asked about FFP and PSR, he didn't go green, but he didn't really want to commit or name names. all he would say was it's unsustainable. But also he was saying that this new voting system means the likelihood of it really changing. The problem for football now is that this Labour government, politics creeping in just for a fraction here, this Labour government can't run its own country right now. How can you come in and think that some minister is going to come in and run football? A government ruling body to run football. Football can't even rule itself. And you think you're going to come in and rule it? It can only lead to disaster, in my opinion. And, football needs to get its own house in gear. There needs to be a set of rules, a set of punishments. The Manchester City 115 rules, we need closure on it. Yeah. And we need to know if you go over X, then you will lose 5 points, 10 points. If you do this, you will get relegated, right?
The 14 and 6 rule, mate, that Daniel Levy was a champion of, has come back and backfired.
Right.
How many times, mate, did we speak about the fact that it wouldn't take that much more? We were talking about Trip Smith buying the majority stake in West Ham, and then his relationship with the guy from Crystal Palace, who's a minority investor who owns Blackstone Capital, and they've got side ventures that are invested in Clearlake. And we were saying, like, the reality is that if you only needed, in terms of like the votes, but previously it got to the point where there was 4 rejections and there was 1 abstention. Chelsea would abstain, which is the equivalent of a vote against, and then there was 4 rejections in Forest, City, Newcastle, and Aston Villa, I think it was, and they only needed 2 more. And then we were talking about maybe Aston Villa and whether West Ham and Crystal Palace will become that additional 2, and then no more changes happen. And then at the end of the season, you didn't even need West Ham and you didn't even need Crystal Palace to vote for or against anything, because they didn't, or the entire team, the entire Premier League team didn't want to vote on the idea of closing the loopholes around hotel shifting and all that crap. And the women's football team bollocks. And so we're already at the point, and Daniel Levy basically pulled it out saying that it's all very well saying you want the regulator, he wants the FA to do it. And Gary Neville's saying, well, maybe the regulator is the stepping stone towards the FA to handle it. But Daniel Levy's correct, absolutely correct, although it was him that was a champion of the autonomy of the Premier League as much as anybody else, that said the 14 and 6 rule has to be the way to go. And then we saw what happened. We saw what happened in May. Nothing changed. So there's nothing going to change, mate. There's going to be no real changes in that regard.
But all we see, we keep seeing it's Chelsea who break the rules, push the envelope. And once that envelope, they decide, oh, we better seal that envelope up. It's too late. They seal the envelope up for everyone else who wants to do it. Chelsea at one stage had 32 players out on loan. Oh, you can't have that. Well, cut it. Everyone else started doing the model, following Chelsea. Then they cut it, and then it went 8, 7, 6. I think it's 6 only maximum out on loan.
Overseas.
Overseas. But what I'm saying to you is that it's always after the horse has bolted. Wait until Chelsea and Manchester City have abused the system before then trying to close the door. And this is just another one. They'll close the hotel loophole. They'll close all these other loopholes eventually.
After they benefited from it. 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Stop anybody else doing it.
We've got another name here.
A couple of super chats quickly. Jack Spurs has come in with a super sticker. Big up to you, Jack. He's with Thomas Frank. He's having a Tommy tank. We love to see it, mate. A second one. Jesus, you're a man. You must be a young man.
Yeah, he does. Clean up after yourself, Thomas, and wash your hands.
There's a good boy. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate you. And Super Blaine Devlin from Super Spurs TV. What a champion this guy is. Gifted 10 Football Inc. memberships. Blaine, mate, I hope that you're not spending the employment contract money on Mr. Tight.
Thank you very much, Blaine. And if you are a recipient of one of those Football Inc. memberships, please drop Blaine at Super Spurs TV a thank you, please. That's very nice. And he's actually dropped another name that we can't forget. Those of you who are maybe not in the UK, there used to be a program called The Chase. and we were watching the chase, and Bradley Walsh was talking, and one of the people that they were talking about, her name was Fanny Schmeller.
100%.
And he cracked up. He couldn't do. He just lost.
He lost control of the show, didn't he? 100%. Thank you so much, Blaine. And please do say thank you to Blaine to Super Spurs, mate. You're an absolute legend. Absolute legend. Foxy's coming in with some breaking Elche news. I need to get a jingle. Breaking Elche. Ex-Palace keeper Vicente Guaita in talks to join the club on a free and interest in Boca Juniors winger Ezequiel Zaballos. There we go. My club.
Elche
till I die.
Absolutely smashing it.
How's Cremonese going,
mate? Well, I'm in Bilbao. I'm Basque now. I'm Basque till I die, mate. I'm Basque. I went into the shop, asked for some cheesecake. I go, no, I don't eat that crap. I only eat Basque cheesecake, right? So if you know a place in London that sells Basque cheesecake, I'm all in. I've started eating a lot more salami.
Yeah, a lot of ham, a lot of jambon.
And I'm definitely partial to some tapas now. Tapas till I die. Listen, while we're in Spain, let's hop off to Barcelona. Barcelona have rejected Chelsea's offer of France forward Christopher Nkunku as a make weight in one of my favourite players, Fermin Lopez. Another player they're trying to sign. I can't see Fermin Lopez leaving to go to Chelsea. It's too crowded. Meanwhile, another interested party on Fermin Lopez is Manchester United.
He said Arsenal are after him as well, by the way. They're all after that. He's like an attacking midfielder. I'll take him at Tottenham, 22 years old.
He's not going to leave, mate. I can't see him. He's 22. He's staking his claim at Barcelona.
A relentless midfielder.
Hansi Flick is a top coach. And I think, you stay where you are. Why would you leave there? I just can't see it, to be truthful with you. So that's the news out of there. Atlanta, the deal's still dragging on. As we said yesterday, he's blocking. Atlanta are doing the cop blocking at the moment.
Who's this for Lookman?
For Lookman to Inter Milan. Inter Milan just pay the money. I'm just waiting for someone else to come in and try and steal him. Arsenal are trying to, even though most people think that Arsenal's defence is probably the strongest in the Premier League at the moment, Arsenal are still looking to make initial contact with a club that's also been raided quite significantly this summer, Rennes, for 19-year-old centre-back Jeremy Jacquet. Despite his new contract being signed to 2028-29. You like that one, didn't I?
He's really good on a cold night in Stoke, right, Jeremy Jacquet.
I need a nice big Jacquet will do for me. But what else have we got here? We got
to go across the road, mate. We got to get on our plane. We got to get on the plane again.
This is the turkey segment. The turkey segment of the show.
Fenerbahce manager Jose Mourinho is interested in a move for Alejandro Garnacho. And the Turkish club are mulling over the €45 million offer that it's going to take. That's coming out of Millet.
How do you mull, Sean? Can you tell me how you mull? How do you mull over it?
I think mulling is more like this.
Mull.
Yeah. Listen, mate, Garnacho, he's made his mind up, hasn't he? He wants to go to Chelsea.
Listen, he says he wants to go to Chelsea. He's not interested in playing football. He's just interested in hanging out with all the other Argentinian guys and South American guys. It's like a South American creche down at Stamford Bridge, and he wants to be part of it. He'll probably have to sign a 6-7 year contract down there. Look, good luck to him. That's where he wants to go. If he wants to play football, I don't think he's going to be doing it regularly at Chelsea. Is my take on it. But listen, he's undoubted talent.
Alan M is asking for an accent, mate. Can you please mull over the Garnacho move in the Turkish accent, if you don't mind?
Turkish.
Listen, boss.
Hamdallah, hamdallah, hamdallah. That's mulling. That's mulling in Turkish.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Okay. Listen, kiss goodbye. Subscribe whilst you can, guys, because we're getting cancelled.
Hang on a minute. Here's a guy who still hasn't left the building down at Paris Saint-Germain. Have you got anything else in Turkey before I move on?
Yeah.
Go on.
I think I might do. Hang on a second, mate. Hang on a second. Let me just double check I have it still. I think I've got it somewhere.
Turkish tonight coming.
Hang about. Apparently, Osman according to Punch newspapers, all right, Osman, I don't know who they are. The Gala vice president, Galatasaray vice president, has said the amount that Victor gave up to come to us here is truly enormous. He gave up a sum no other player would ever give up, and we are happy to have him. Just a quick refresher. He's getting paid 26 million euros a week after tax. A year after tax to go to Galatasaray. And the Galatasaray VP is justifying it by saying, "You won't believe what money he has given up, the boss, to go somewhere else." I don't know where that was. It might have been Al Hilal. It might have been Al Hilal. But the amount of money he's earning at Galatasaray, no man would give up either. 26 bar after tax is insanity.
He was offered ridiculous money in Saudi. I mean, truly ridiculous money. And you can only imagine how ridiculous it is when he says something like that, when he's given up 26 million. There was rumours that it was 50 million a year after tax. He's given up 26 million, but he wants to play football. If you send any more super chats, guys, to us and help Sean and I raise enough money so that we can go to accent classes and improve our accents, because they need a little bit of work, I must admit.
I love the fact that they're terrible. I love the fact that they're awful. There's a guy in the chat every day whenever I do my Welsh accent. Have you all seen that player? He's mega. He's a proper player. He's absolutely proper. And then the guy goes, "That's a fantastic Scottish accent, Sean. Fantastic Scottish accent." Super Blade, Super Spurs TV saying honest breaking news from Football Insider. Arsenal are considering hijacking Ademola Lookman instead of Eze due to protracted discussions. That's from Football Insider. I mean, I'd take either of them. I'd take either of them. I don't care. If Arsenal don't make a move on Eze, don't get it done. Can you see Eze going anywhere else? I know, park Tottenham for a second. Can you see Munich end up anywhere else? Bayern Munich. Yeah, because they signed Douglas Luiz, though, haven't they? They still need a 10. They do still need a 10.
Look, we all know the fantastic relationship between Elise and Eze, and it was a dream partnership. They have a telepathic understanding, and if you're going to reunite those two, then it's fine. Someone's requesting a Hansi Flick thing. We'll do that in a minute.
Where are your players?
Where are your players? Where are your papers?
Let it fight anymore.
We have ways of making you play football. Wolfsburg are pushing. Wolfsburg are pushing to. They're pushing hard. Wolfsburg are pushing hard to sign Coventry right back Milan van Uwijk. According to Sky in Germany, the German club are exploring the conditions of the sale. And in the last hour, Manchester United are expected to make a serious bid for Seşko. The fact that two bids, or at least one bid for sure, has been made by Newcastle, Man United should know the right amount that they'll be offering. My bet is that despite his protestations that he's not going, I think Rasmus Højlund will end up at RB Leipzig. That's my guess. And it will be Højlund plus cash for Seşko. They're getting a player that costs 77 million euros and has been a flop. And they're getting Seşko. So I think that...
Nkunku might be a part of that. Do you think Nkunku might end up back at Leipzig, though?
No.
Where do you think Nkunku's going to go?
I think he'll go on loan somewhere, to be honest. I really do.
I don't know. I feel like, is anyone going to take a massive punt on Nkunku? Possibly, but maybe a late transfer in the deal. Surely Chelsea needs to get someone out the door in that front line. And Manchester United, Leipzig don't want to be sort of force-fed players from teams for their guy, for maybe not for Seşko, but they didn't want it for Simmons either. It looks like to me like Leipzig are interested in money, and then they can go and pick the player they want, not the player that they're getting offered. And so I could see United end up paying money, Højlund saying no, I'm not leaving, and then maybe Seşko going, maybe not, whatever happens. But then I think that Leipzig might end up going back, and maybe Simmons goes to Chelsea and Nkunku comes in the other direction as some sort of like not that much cash and a lot of Nkunku instead.
Yeah, you could be right. Steve in the chat and the others, thanks very much. I'm off down to Waitrose to get myself some Basque cheesecake. Thanks for the heads up. That's probably. Listen, there was one player who I'm really surprised that Premier League clubs hadn't come in for. That's Middlesbrough's Hayden Hackney. I'm really surprised. He was linked with a deal for Ipswich. I think he's holding off for a bigger deal. Yeah. I'm amazed because the kid's got a lot of talent. But Ipswich, in the meantime, have agreed a deal in principle with Ajax for forward Chuba Akpom. And now I'm trying to remember who he was with before. Was he with Chelsea as well? I can't remember as a kid. I'm not sure. The deal
is Akpom.
Chuba Akpom. Yeah. The deal is a loan with an obligation to buy for 7 million. If Ipswich are promoted, Akpom could have a medical in the next 24 hours. But Birmingham City have just jumped in and have also have an agreement with Ajax. The Dutch club have let it down to the player to decide. Now, interestingly, Birmingham faced Ipswich on Friday Night Live. Where would you go if you were the player? Personally, I think he goes to Birmingham because the investment that's there, Birmingham.
Who's invested in Birmingham? Remind me.
Isn't it? Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, yeah. That's right. Yeah, Tom Brady.
Yeah. You know, Davis is a superb coach.
Yeah.
Really good coach. Former Spurs assistant coach. Very highly rated. Did a fantastic job with them in the League One last year.
Johnny, do you think there's any truth to like the idea? I know we heard from that Lily White Lane about Donnelly going on loan to a Championship club. Do you think there's any chance now that he might not go because of what's happened to Maddison? I personally think Maddison's done. I think he's cooked. When you're 30 years old and you've just had a knee injury for 4 months, and then you break down again with a cruciate, the second that you come back, same knee.
We said this.
I think Maddison's.
I think Spurs would have gone to sell him. That's my personal belief.
Yeah, I think they were going to sell him this summer. Yeah. I genuinely think they were, but now you can't. You can't sell a man who's injured. So, forget about that for a second. The question about Jamie Donnelly. Do you think there's any chance that Tottenham might end up cancelling a loan deal for him and saying just hang around?
Listen, I think they should. I think they should be selling him. Should be keeping him and putting him in the squad. I just think it makes sense. There's another deal here, another Chelsea deal, another day, another Chelsea deal. We need to try and see if that one clears for eBay FC that I sent you the other day, Sean.
Well, I've actually got. What I did was the video that you sent me. I pitched it up so that it's not going to be the same, so it won't get flagged. And then I tried to do a face swap with the guy who's singing in it, but with Todd Bowley. But you can't really see Todd Bowley's face in it. Like I've done it. I can show you. I'll bring it up. Okay, I have to upload it. Carry on with the story, and I'll bring it.
So Burnley agree a deal for Ugo Chukwu. I can't get. Can we not have some simple names like Barry Smith? I mean, all right. So he's got a normal first name, an easier first name. No, there's no such thing as normal. Burnley have agreed a deal with Chelsea for midfielder Leslie Ugo Chukwu. Chukwu is set to undergo a medical in the next 24 hours to 48 hours. The 21-year-old is expected to sign a 5-year deal. Ugo Chukwu spent last season on loan at Southampton. And then the other one, which we mentioned before.
Here's the video, mate. Let me see if you like it. Let me see if you like it.
This is for
You don't have it? And where will I find it?
When you can't seem to find a baseball that's been signed, that's on eBay. A new toy you can wind, a men's suit that's silk lined, that's on eBay. Phones that ring, organize a thing, jazz or swing, nice bling bling, that's on eBay. Buy today and it's on its way. Other users say you will feel okay, that's on eBay.
I don't know if you can quite see his face in there. He has had his face blocked out to be top loaded.
You could say you could just put Chelsea FC.
I'll add a little bit to it. I'll spice it up a little bit.
But that's our Chelsea, who now we refer to as eBay FC for the amount of deals that they're doing. It's just ludicrous how many they're doing. The last one, I think we spoke about it before. Everton are in talks to sign Dewsbury Hall. I think that's more or less go.
Well, there's another one here, mate, from Everton as well, which I think is interesting. How about this one here? Everton are advancing in talks with Southampton for the 30. And this story is just, the numbers just drops every day. It's like a stock clearance sale from Southampton. It was 100 million quid in January, 35 million pound plus signing of Tyler Dibbling. The 19-year-old has been given permission to speak to the Toffees. I mean, that's from Telegraph as well, by the way.
I think it's genuine that they want him. He's stated very much so that that's the position that he needs more than any other in the team. They're also looking at Malik Fofana, who, despite being tiny, you and I are big admirers of Malik Fofana.
Yeah.
He's a good little winger. I don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, they're also looking at Wilfred Ndidi. Yes, Ndidi. They are looking at him. So I think Everton are going to have a tidy little team. I really do. They're going to be hard to break down, low block, tough to beat. Guys, if you're in the chat, and I haven't looked at the likes, but if you're in there and you haven't hit that like button, guys, please hit the like button.
We're on 370 likes. Can we get up to 4? Can we get up to? There's 800 people here still. Can we get up to 450 before the show finishes?
That's poor, Sean. We've been getting like 700-800 on a week. And if you are here for the first time by accident or design, and you're here for the first time, please hit the subscribe button and tell us where you're from and what club you support. And if you hit the notification bell, that'll let you know when we're going live, because we can go live anytime from 9:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night due to social activity.
Strictly Rhythm here is saying, Shawnee, Ali Gold already posted that Donnelly, Scarlett, Lancashire, Yang, Abbott, and surprisingly to him and me, Vescovic, have all been made available for loan. I don't mind if the first 5 are, but not a 1, 2, 4, 5, but not Vescovic. I think you've got to keep that guy around, personally. I think he's more than capable. What's your thoughts, Johnny?
It's a hard one. He looks fantastic, but maybe a year in the Championship, playing every single game. Because let's be honest, for his development, he's not going to be playing every game. It's as simple as that, right? True. I say you go out on loan and you have a recall facility, maybe in January. I think that's fair. But there's one that's just come in. Manchester City have finally reached an agreement with Ruben Diaz on a new contract. The 28-year-old contract, which expired in 27, but an agreement is said to have been reached over a new deal. And City, won the Premier League title for us. He joined in 2020 for £62 million.
Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, £62 million.
One of the best centre backs in the world.
When you look at the number, when you look at that number 5 years ago, and you look at, Ruben
Diaz has been and will be. He'll be forgotten by most people in the annals of Premier League centre back history, but he's one of the best there is. I think he's absolutely sensational.
And another one for you Rangers fans out there, Celtic, by the way, sneaking a very, very late winner against St Mirren. But Rangers, unfortunately, a terrible performance against Motherwell, only drawing 1-1. They, I think, are more focused on the game, the Champions League knockout game this coming week. But Rangers have now signed winger Oliver Antman in a 4-year deal. The 23-year-old moves to go Ibrox from Go Ahead Eagles, in a deal that will rise to $4 million. He's
Go Ahead Eagles. That's where Troy Parrott was, wasn't it? Or is?
No.
Oh, no, Troy Parrott was at Alkmaar. No, wait.
No. Yeah, it was. AZ.
Who was at Go Ahead Eagles? There was a Tottenham player at Go Ahead Eagles recently. I'm sure there was.
Not sure. Can't remember. Can't remember. I think that's about it.
He was at Go Ahead Eagles, and I think he moved to AZ Alkmaar. I think whatever, doesn't matter, whatever. Forget about it. It's irrelevant. I'm not sure. Couple of super chats before we round off, guys. Massive thank you to everybody who's been a part of it. Blaine, thank you again, mate, for your generosity, mate. You're an absolute legend. Sam has said the thoughts on AZ Alkmaar's Keith Smith as a possible 10 for us. I did a video on him on the Spurs Talk Show about 2 months ago. I think I titled it "The Keys to the Kingdom." And I thought he was a good player. He's an interesting player, but not someone that I think is going to be satisfactory for Tottenham.
I think he's ready. Now,
bringing in like 21-year-olds, however old he is, 22. I just think we need to bring in someone that's going to move the needle because we've lost massive injuries to big players at Tottenham. We need a monster to come in. We know who we are. But thank you, Sam. I don't mind if Tottenham or someone else. I do rate him, by the way, but just not for us, not yet. Cat Funts come back in again. Thank you, Catty boy. Lookman transfer request. Arsenal looking at him. I think Inter are still desperate. He wants to go to Inter, and he'll end up at Inter, won't he, Johnny? Probably. I mean, maybe if Arsenal do come in, maybe.
So look, he's had a great career. He's been around the track a bit, but he's had a great career at Atalanta.
Proven.
Yeah, it's been proven. You know, he'll always be remembered there for that hat trick he scored in the final against Frankfurt. No, against Bayer Leverkusen to win them that trophy.
They were the only team that beat Leverkusen that year, weren't they?
Correct. Yeah.
Insane. Thank you, Kat. Mr. Pox Office, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, mate. Hope you're okay. My notes on censorship are
Gone
with the wind.
Yeah.
Very clever.
I like a lot of our chat. Gone with the wind. Gone with the wind.
Gone with the wind.
If you hit the like button, guys, if you haven't already, and as I said before, don't like to repeat myself, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because only about 43% of you have that come in to watch. We've had thousands come in here. And if you are, or you can see the link, please pop on to the Apple or Spotify link and please hit that. There we go, the Apple link there. Please hit that, and that will take you to the Apple podcast. Scroll down to the bottom and please leave us a 5-star rating and review. We're trying to build that up now. Most people, just listen and they don't actually sort of follow or like it. We'd really appreciate it. And we couldn't be where we are without you guys. I'll tell you that much. Thank you.
Also, guys, there's the Football Inc. The Spotify link as well. So if you're someone that's catching this later, if you're not watching it live, and you are out walking the wife or whatever you're doing, and you do want to also watch it whilst out and about, obviously you've got Apple Pods where you can listen, Spotify where you can watch it as well, just like you can on YouTube. I'm just trying to find a channel, mate, that's live that I can redirect everybody.
What about the can I just Godfrey Drummond, if you just that has just gifted a Football Inc. membership. Thank you very much, Godfrey. If you look in the chat, Shawnee.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm trying to do two things at once here.
Sorry,
Thank you very much, Godfrey. Carry on, Johnny.
Also, guys, the fantasy football, the Football Inc. fantasy football, we're growing the numbers. It will be closed once the football season starts. So if you want to get in and get your teams in, we're going to be having a show, like a half-hour show every week, going through this. And we're going to have a members, we're going to have a show for everyone, but we're going to pick out one member every week to go up against us in the competition or predict the score and predict the results. And we're going to have a league table with that. And the Football Inc. Fantasy link is in the chat there, and the code.
Just screw up a little bit, but let me try that again without putting the league code in. The league code is KOGV9C, as you can see, guys. So I'm putting it back in there. Please do join it. And we'll smash you over. Guys, there's still 750 people here. Bear with us. I'm going to send you over to the wonderful Danny Boy Potsy at the Football's 12th Man. He's got a lot of people watching already, but please go over there and smash Football Inc. Raid and say hi from Sean and Johnny to the wonderful Dan Potts and his team. So stay there. We'll send you over. Guys, please do smash the like, subscribe in comment sections afterwards. We'll see you tomorrow for another one. And on Spurs Talk Show, I'll be back later on this evening. And also, the Spurs 5 is back at 8 p.m. Make sure you get over to that as well. And we'll see you over there. It's going to be fireworks, surely, because I think Lubo's going to be going in on Daniel Levy. And, even though I'm hosting, when Lubo talks about Levy, someone's got to correct the record. So we'll find out how that goes later on. Like, subscribe, and comment. Johnny, it's goodbye from me. No, wait, it's goodbye from you.
No, it's goodbye from him.
It's goodbye from me.
Goodbye from him. It's all right, guys. He deserves. And listen, the demands for the Football Inc. cookbook is under consideration, but at the moment we've had to shelve it.